anybody would think I have a share in every horse Shani wins on. Riley, one of my best friends. It's always so great to see her riding winners, and she's just outridden her 4-kilo claim. What a great result. And Simply Rosso stayed on the rails. She didn't panic there when wanted to take the lead, but Tim Pike has produced another fantastic result here.
And she's striking at a rate of knots very early into her career, Tess. That was a really strong win. I'm not sure it went to plan. I'm sure the plan would have been to fire through and take the lead, but she had to absorb a lot of pressure from Shooting Kontiki, who was hell-bent on getting across her in those early stages, but Shani had the composure to just take a drop in behind, find that inside run, and Simply Rosso was really strong to get the upper hand over the concluding stages.
A great result indeed, as we now move on to the last at Kalgoorlie, the Madjec Constructions Handicap, the 58 plus over the 1200 metres. Last race was a run and won by a very informed Peter Fernie and Lucy Fury combination, but Carn Up Queen, a really nice galloper.
Certainly is. She looks a filly with gears, Carn Up Queen, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does moving forward as well. But yeah, she's we might move on to this final race on the program, Tess, as we are on the blocks here with the double meeting here at Roebourne as well.
Yes, indeed. We were just waiting to see what was going on with cameras there, but Hidden Ruby is the one here. Peter Fernie, Ava Caterino.
First up here this afternoon, this 5-year-old mare. She has a pretty good fresh record as well. Hasn't been seen at the races for 176 days, but her last run was pretty good in some pretty strong company as well. She went down to Ascot for the regional championship final. She settled a long way back in running and got home really well over the concluding stages to only be beaten 3 lengths at the finish by Sure Know Something. Should get a lovely run in transit from barrier 3 today. Ava Caterino claiming the 3 kilos as well, and really has a great career record. She's had 25 starts for 5 wins and 8 minor placings, so she's always close to the money.
The 2 is the stablemate in Love Drunk Baby, Peter Fernie, Lucy Fury.
Back in class here this afternoon, Love Drunk Baby. She has competed in 70-plus races at her past couple, and she was a 64-plus winner prior to that as well under Tash Faithful when leading throughout to defeat Westernised. Back into a 58-plus here today. Looks really good placement. Lucy Fury jumps on board today, but I'm just a bit of a knock on his chances given the barrier that he's drawn, as there seems to be plenty of speed here in this final race on the program, and speed that's all drawn underneath him as well, Tess. We see Floba drawn in 9, Kalita goes quick drawn in barrier 8, so he may need to do a lot of work if he is to try and get across.
Is the current favourite, however, has been drifting and been a bit of a play in the market. $2.80 out to $3.70 at one stage was equal favourite as well with Floba. The 3 is Pearly Nugget, Helen Harding and Zephyr Johnson Porter.
She's just going this mare at the moment, Pearly Nugget. She's a little bit out of form for mine. I don't mind the fact they opt for the claim here this afternoon. Zephyr Johnson Porter takes off 1.5 kilos. She's going to get a lovely run from another good barrier. Get some, hopefully find some cover just tucked away behind the speed. The gap between runs is a minor concern for mine. We haven't seen her at the races for 37 days, but perhaps given her recent form, a little freshen might be what she was looking for.
The 4 is Natural Gem, hoping to go back to that winning form, Nev Newton and Chanel Cooper.
And I think she can. I think she finds a really nice setup here in the last Natural Gem. You can be forgiving of her last start effort behind Treble Maker. She certainly had excuses on that occasion, and her 2 wins prior to that were pretty dominant in this company as well. And thinking she might be one that could capitalise on this expected strong tempo here in the last with the speed influences engaged, as we touched on. We've got Floba, Kalita, Love Drunk Baby, all horses that do their best work right over the speed. So I did think if Chanel Cooper was positive early with those winkers replacing the blinkers this afternoon, that she could push forward and find a spot handy just tucked in behind what looks a strong tempo. And as we know, she's a mare with a really nice turn of foot when she's at her best.
The 5 is Prize Jewel, been in quite good form as of recent. Paul Tapper, Chris Nicol.
Going really well, going to get a lovely soft run off the back of that speed again today here from barrier 2. She's been racing with great consistency this time in. She ran 3rd behind ZBD Springs last start, 3rd behind Scottish Laird the start prior to that, was able to win in this company over 1,300 metres 3 starts ago, so she's certainly proven herself. I think the speed profile of this race is certainly going to suit her too. My only slight knock is the fact that she is stepping back in trip to the 1,200 metres this afternoon.
The 6's Floba was actually the favourite at opening of this preview, has now drifted out to $4.80. Brett Drury and Victoria Corver.
And he posted a massive figure, really, in winning first up over the 1,100 metres. They ran time on that occasion. He was able to find the front and stave them off over the concluding stages. But he didn't step that clean first up. He was able to muster his way to the top. So if he is half a stride slow today, that could prove to be a little bit problematic from where he has drawn, given the other speed in the race. And I'm not sure he is, I should say, going to have the early speed to cross a horse like Kalgoorlie, who has drawn underneath him, which I think would be key to his chances. I think if he can find the breeze, he's still a key winning chance.
The 7 is Kalgoorlie, David Smith, Troy Turner.
Her last two have been better, but she just hasn't returned this time in the same horse that we saw really dominate some strong fields here at Kalgoorlie last campaign. I think if she can find the top here from barrier 8, she can give a sight back to 1,200 metres, but I'm just a little bit wary that she may not be operating at her best.
The 8 is No Dust on Me, Paul Tapper, Amy Jo Hayes.
His last two have been in stronger company than what he meets here this afternoon. He hasn't really made an impression in either of those runs. His 58 plus form prior to that was only fair. Should get a lovely soft run from barrier 1, scraping the Dulux, and I do like the use of the claim, stepping back in grade as well.
The 9 is Kelly's Lisa Lou, David Smith, Natika Riordan.
Missed the kick badly last start, Kelly's Lisa Lou, and she has made a bit of a habit of doing that this campaign. Unfortunately, she's just not stepping, which does make things pretty tough for Natika Riordan, drawn very wide, given she is likely to be last in running.
The 10 is No More Dust, Paul Tapper, Lisa Staples.
Thought it was a really good effort last start and maps for a really good run off a strong tempo here, No More Dust. She's drawn perfectly for mine and closed off well behind Natural Gem only 3 starts ago and gets a bit of weight in her favour on that runner from that effort too. I think she looks a really nice sneaky here at odds to round out the program, and I'd be throwing her in all novelties.
Paul Tapper would have been very busy in preparation for this race. Saddles up 4 runners, and the 11 is another one of his, All on Black, with Alicia Whittington aboard.
Only beaten the 2 runners home at his last 2, All on Black. Does get the senior jockey back on board today, but does rise at the weights as a result, and for mine just isn't going well enough to feature.
Love Drunk Baby is still our favourite, $2.80. Did drift, but now has come back in to $2.75. Floba has drifted a lot since the start of this preview. As mentioned, was an equal favourite with Love Drunk Baby, now at to $5.50. Hidden Ruby $7, Natural Gem $8.50, and double figures the rest. Riley, how are we ordering the 4 in the last here at Kalgoorlie?
I went 4, 6, 2 and 10 for me here, Tess. With the 4 on top, Natural Gem, I thought she had some clear excuses last start. Her 2 wins prior to that were really dominant, and I thought she was one that could potentially capitalise on this expected speed here in the last. The crucial part of this race is Chanel Cooper being able to find the right spot with her from a potentially sticky little gate early doors. But if she's able to, I think with the turn of foot that she has shown when she's been at her best, she can pick them up over the concluding stages at a really nice each way quote as well. So I went with the 4 Natural Gem on top from 6 Floba, posted a really strong figure in winning first up, and I do think if Vic Corver can get him across to lead or to the breeze, then he's going to give another very good account of himself. 2 Love Drunk Baby back in class today. Lucy Fury jumps on board, but from that barrier, given the speed drawn underneath, I'm a little bit concerned where he gets to in running, and he may have to do things tough from there. The 10 No More Dust ran a really good race last start into second behind ZBD Spring, so is a really nice mare. She's certainly got plenty of ability, so I'm happy to follow that form, and I think she looks a really nice rough chance to round out the program for those that like something at a bit more value. 4, 6, 2 and 10, my numbers here in the last, but 4 on top for me at a nice each way quote for Nev Newson and Chanel Cooper in Natural Gem, hoping she can bounce back.
4, 6, 2 and 10 here for Riley in the last. It's been a fantastic day of racing, the 7 race program here at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. 4 on top for Riley. Natural Gem is on the 4th line of betting, now out to $9 at an each way price there. In the last, the Get Out Stakes, Floba is continuing to drift, who is Riley's in for second, and Love Drunk Baby is shortening in the market, $2.50. We have just had a look, and runners are moving in really, really well here in the last, so we'll hand you upstairs for the last time this afternoon to Matt McDermott, who's done a fantastic job calling today as he calls us home one last time today.
Thank you, Tessa. They're moving up well here. $2.50 Love Drunk Baby. $5.50 Floba, the next best. on black about to go up. Thanks, Stu. The last of the day, race 7. Madjec Constructions Handicap over the 1200. All on black back behind the line. Being led around and is about to come forward. With Love Drunk Baby at $2.50. Open at $2.80. Light on. Last of 7. Close to a start. One of the attendants go in. Lends a hand to Kelly's Liza Lou, last out 2 or 3 lengths away early, and Floba began well. Love Drunk Baby is up, joining Floba, and they pair off. Pearly Nugget and Kalita, and they were followed then by No More Dust, and it's ahead of Natural Gem. Over on the inside is No Dust on Me. They were followed by Prize Jewel on the outside. Further back to Kelly's Liza Lou, settles third last at the 800 ahead of All on Black. And getting back to the start of the field, Hidden Ruby's about 3 or 4 away with 600 metres to go. And it's Love Drunk Baby who got across to lead. Floba by a length and a half, nearly 2 lengths. Kalita and Pearly Nugget are next, and they're followed by No More Dust, who's midfield with Natural Gem. Further back then to No Dust on Me, Prize Jewel, Kelly's Liza Lou, a couple to All on Black, and a long way to Hidden Ruby is at the start of the field. Into the straight comes Love Drunk Baby with Floba the outside and Pearly Nugget back in third. Floba races up to Love Drunk Baby. They're 2 in front now of Pearly Nugget. Kalita at the moment is holding fourth. Floba's drawn to the lead. Pearly Nugget's after Floba. Floba in front, winning post looming. Pearly Nugget the outside. Floba holds on, beats Pearly Nugget. Love Drunk Baby close for fourth between Kalita, who was joined by No More Dust, and they were followed by No Dust on Me, together with Natural Gem. All on Black. Further out was Prize Jewel. Then came Kelly's Liza Lou behind those, and Hidden Ruby didn't travel well at all. Hopefully he's all okay. Was tailed off. 6 holds on. Floba. Pearly Nugget was giving chase, knuckled down in the last 100 or so, but Floba's had enough up his sleeve to give Vic Corber a double. Winner prepared by Brett Drury, number 6. Interim placings are 6, 3, 2 and 10. 6 the winner, Floba. Holds out Pearly Nugget, number 3. Love Drunk Baby in third, number 2. And No More Dust has got 4th in the gold jacket in a time of 1:10.94, 1:10 and 94. 5th Kalita and 6th was Prize Jewel. Long head by 2 lengths. There's been some close finishes and a long head by 2 lengths to round out the day, with Floba winning 3 of his last 4. And back to back for this campaign. Vic Corver with a double, joining Troy Turner and Lucy Fiore. 3 riders between them sharing 6 of the 7. And Floba is a chestnut gelding by Winning Rupert, and of Maha Chakri, and raced by N. Thomas, C. Perkins, B. Thomas, R. Harvey, B. Price, Mrs. M. Price and P. Taylor. Fens out Pearly Nugget, just couldn't quite haul in Floba. Zephyr Johnson Porter for Helling Harding. The mare is by Snippertson out of Pearlesque, and raced by C. Harding and S. Lawrence. And third across the line, Love Drunk Baby, Lucy Fiore for Peter Fernie. And the gelding is by Bradbury's Luck out of I'm a Sittin' Pretty, and raced by Mrs. K. Fernie. And fourth to number 10, which was No More Dust, Lisa Staples, for one of 4 Paul Tapper runners. So a long head by 2, 1:10.94. Winner Floba is returning. Riding double to Vic Corber, and Brett Drury Test prepares the winner to go back to back.
Thanks, Matt. I've got a very happy Brett Drury here. Back-to-back wins for Floba. Vic Corver with a pickup ride, but a fantastic result today.
Yeah, super. He's actually won his last 3 and that he's raced here in Kalgoorlie. He loves the joint. He's the best worker I've got. He's actually a really nice horse, and to go up in grade and cross him from the wide barrier, I was pretty confident after 200 metres, to be honest, when he found the front.
Fantastic. Well, I guess where to now? Obviously, there's 1,200 today, 1,100 last start. Do you stick around this distance?
Yeah, that's him. He's a speed horse, and I think 11-1200s he's go.
Drifted out in the market, but I hear there's a few of the boys at the pier in Esperance. Nick Thomas has had a pretty good whack here.
They mustn't have had enough on if he's drifted.
They might just be telling porcupines. But congratulations here, Brett. All the best and a great way to round out today.
Yeah, so, thanks so much, Tessa.
There's Brett and here's Vic Corver.
Corver after the win there of Floba. Vic, it looked as though they really got along at a good gallop there. You were able to get across from that wide barrier early doors, and he was really, I should say, able to absorb that tempo and finish off really well.
Yeah, he was actually quite tractable in the run. When I took a sit behind Love Drunk Baby, he settled really nice, so I was hopeful he'd run out a good sprint at the end.
It might have worked out well in the end that Love Drunk Baby was happy to go to the front at about the 600 and really put the pressure into the race, as it did give him something to chase.
Yeah, definitely. It allowed him to have a nice breather mid-race, which probably helped him because the last 100 he'd probably had enough, but he stuck it out good.
A couple of nice pickup rides today, Vic. Well done on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
There's Vic Corver continuing her great riding in the saddle at the moment, combining with Brett Drury and Floba. Goes back to back here. Pearly Nugget, a very big run into second at $4.30 the place. Love Drunk Baby and No More Dust taking out. Floba takes out the Madjec Constructions Handicap over the 1,200 metres. Stick with us. We're going to be on a very, very short break. Then we'll head to Roebourne for the last of the day on today's program Up There.